There is a decided difference between a ritual and a habit. Now, you can have a ritual built around something habitual. So I really try to take my morning routine and elevate it to the form of a ritual, meaning that you have imbued that habit or that routine behavior with a nature of the sacred. And the more that you can connect that deeply within yourself, the more likely you're going to keep that going and keep that adopted behavior as a real, true part of yourself. But today I wanted to offer something different. And I've also talked about the concept before of inviting the light and the dark of you to the table. That if you deny your shadow nature, if you deny your true humanity, it will come out in self sabotaging ways. Or it's very possible that you will start to project those onto the people that are closest to you that have nothing to do with your own shadow. They may be triggers for it, but they are not your shadow. So here's something that I suggest as a way to do that. As you bring your creation and your creativity and the pieces of you into this world, I invite you to create a ritual that acknowledges your shadow. And this can be very simple because your brain does not know the difference between an utterance and a reality. This is how we create new realities for ourselves. If you live as if, this is how manifesting works. Your brain doesn't know the difference. So it actually brings about those conditions in which those things become true. And the same is true for acknowledging your own shadow. So let me just give you an example. As you produce something of value that you love, there is going to be an accompanying shadow to it. So even by saying, I bless this piece of work, I bless the creation of this video, but I also allow and acknowledge my shadow self, my self consciousness, my insides that tell me that this is conceit, not contribution, that I honor the presence of the shadow self even within this video. I acknowledge that seat at the table for the flip side of my contribution. I allow her and invite her into the light. I don't deny her. She may make me grit my teeth a little, but she's part of me. And she's the balance. We're not all pure light. If we were all pure light, we would have no gravity. First of all, we'd float off into the stratosphere. And second of all, our dark is what makes us interesting. It's what gives us contrast. It's what fleshes out the dark from the light. So don't hide it too much. And certainly don't suppress it because it's going to come out somewhere anyway. It's going to come out in your relationships. It's going to come out in your dialogue. It's going to come out in your own actions towards yourself. So, that ritual just was intoned, but it can be a journal passage. It can be writing. It can be, what I'm explaining is that the ritual of acknowledgement can be very simple, but it's a way to keep the shadow from being suppressed because you're giving it voice. And I urge you to do that because when the shadow is unspoken is when it gets into like these little cracks in your life that are even hard to identify. You don't even realize you're doing it because it has no other outlet and it will come out. With beautiful production comes destruction. That is nature's balance. That will occur. But what I'm saying is you can focus and funnel the destruction in a way that's less ultimately destructive to your progress and your process. So today, think about what you could use as a ritual to acknowledge those shadow sides of ourselves as they appear. Bring them forth. And in bringing them forth, you'll find they're not quite as scary or as progress stopping as you think that they are. I hope you found this useful, and I will see you tomorrow.